Hello and welcome to.
I love that new scene. I'm sorry to step on your intro, but I love that. With that, it's just awesome.
The little thing, yeah, it's cool. It's learning something new every day. But thank you guys for jumping on with us. If you're just seeing now, if you're just now getting notification that we are live, go ahead and hop in with us and hit that like button. Please hit that like button on YouTube. Make sure you share and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And make sure those notifications are on YouTube so that everyone knows that we are live here. And Darren, I can't believe that we're on episode 97 already.
That's unbelievable. Listen, I was just wondering, because I was just doing something. If somebody wants to subscribe, where should they go to hit that subscribe button? So
we all love Facebook and X. Those are cool, like social media platforms and all, but YouTube is the place to go to. You want to go to Utah. Go to Utah. Go to youtube.com/.
That was last week's show.
That's right. Yeah. But no, yes, you're right. You want to go to youtube.com /@aroundtheballpark. I'll go ahead and put that in the comments as well. So that way you guys know exactly where to go. But that, go ahead and watch us on whatever platform you prefer to do so. But in terms of the algorithm and all that stuff, it's best to hit that subscribe button on YouTube and hit that like button, so that way you know that we're live every Sunday night at 8 o'clock. And
do Thursday your pals a favor. Yeah, do your pals a favor. And listen, I'm going to shock the world right now, or you, because even before I do our intro from our wonderful people, who sponsor us, Nashville Tax Solutions, I have to know, and I was chomping at the bit, as the kids say, to get your opinion on this. What happened at the Goldberg retirement match?
No, great question. So it was good and it was bad.
First of all, are you surprised I'm asking that question?
No. I think I piqued your WWE interest just a little bit, so you kind of look out for the big bullet points. Yeah. But everyone that knows Bill Goldberg, every match that he used to have back in the day in the 90s, 2000s, they know it was not a very long match. He is not the best worker in the ring. He's intense. He's got the great look, but he only has a few select moves. So going into this match, we all anticipated this to be a very quick, couple moves and you're done. Whether he wins, whether he loses, it was going to be a quick match. He actually went almost 15 full minutes. I think it was just over 14 minutes. The match length went a lot longer than people anticipated, and you could tell he was gassed and all that kind of stuff. But he, as expected, as Michael Clark mentioned, as expected, Goldberg did not win the championship in his final match. That would have been kind of silly. And Gunther retained the championship in the main event over Goldberg, and so that was all good. People were impressed with how Goldberg was able to power through with one of the best workers in the business. However, because it was on network TV and Peacock and everything, they had to end right at 10 o'clock. And so, unfortunately, Goldberg wasn't given the microphone to do his retirement in 35 seconds. So he got a couple words out, and then they cut him off. That was a big epic fail. And unfortunately, it's really hard to all the commercials that they have to get into a 2-hour show and stuff. It's difficult, but unfortunately that happened. It doesn't happen too often. And so they had to re-air it on their social media platforms and W.com and stuff like that. So people missed out on that moment. You can't really do it over because it was in Atlanta, his hometown, all his friends and family were there. So that was a miss on their end. But if you are a wrestling fan, yesterday was the day for you. You got more wrestling than NFL Sundays have yesterday. I think it was over 11 and a half hours of wrestling pay-per-view. Started with NXT Great American Bash, than the AEW All In, went I think 8 hours long, and then you had Saturday night's main event, 2 hours in length, and then right now, as we speak, Darren, is the women's only pay-per-view. WWE Evolution is airing live on Peacock. So 14 and a half hours of wrestling content this weekend. The wrestling creators probably have no voice at this point. If they are, some people I know do reviews, they do live streams. So props to them for covering it that much and having the time to do all of that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, Goldberg's riding into the sunset. At least he had a good showing for his final match. Those of you that saw the match with The Undertaker a couple of years ago, that was abysmal. So I'm glad that he went out on good terms and lost as he should have. Michael refers to, it says, although there could have been a run-ins by Rollins with the briefcase if Goldberg had won. But Seth Rollins, who's Mr. Money in the Bank, got hurt earlier in the night against LA Knight. And it's a pretty serious injury. We don't have the exact details on length and stuff. It could be interesting because he only has so long to cash in that contract, but he may be out for a really long time. Looks to be ACL related. So we'll keep you posted with that. But that's unfortunate for him. You could tell he was visibly frustrated at the end of that match. And I think he took the loss. I think he was supposed to win that match, but they had to kind of cut it immediately short. As soon as he injured that, something happened, and then LA Knight hit his finisher within 5 seconds and won the match. So hopefully he's not out too long, but it's not looking good. Looking good there.
Well, that's good. I mean, look, I wish him well, right? I mean, Goldberg, right, who did, 2 seasons on the TV show The Goldbergs as the gym teacher, and the original gym teacher went to another school for a while, actually went to another show. But yeah, I mean, that's good. And, you have to think about it. The revitalization of wrestling in general, much less WWE, is pretty stout, because it sort of leveled out for a while. Now it seems to be on the uptick. 14 hours of paid content and, live show. That's great.
Yeah. And, they took a lot of heat for doing all these shows on that weekend because AEW had their big show of the year and they could have really picked any other weekend. And but I think most people did watch the AEW product anyway. So I think it kind of backfired on them. But if they weren't worried about it, if they truly weren't worried about it, then whatever, they got their viewers, their money, all that kind of stuff. But I think it would have just been better and easier to digest if A, they didn't have that many shows in one weekend, and B, they could have done something next weekend if they really wanted to. But it is what it is, and hopefully they don't continue to always have shows on the same weekend, because if you are a wrestling fan, fans don't want to choose between the two shows. They want to be able to see them both. So I never quite understood that. They say they're not competition, but then they have that direct time,
right?
So, but it is what it is. But yeah, you mentioned, of course, we have so much to talk about here tonight on the podcast. Just 3 episodes away from number 100. But Darren, you mentioned you were going to shout out to our sponsors over at Nashville Tax Solutions and the great work that they do over there.
Palm Bay, Fort Pierce, are tax problems weighing you down? Are you behind on filings? Are you facing a lien? Nashville Tax Solutions is here with expertise and dedication that you need. Their experienced team handles the IRS so you don't have to. And you'll see the beautiful picture up in the corner over there. And there he is. Let's all wave. Excellent. But just don't hear from us. Clients say it best. Chris Bennett and his team turned a nightmare into peace of mind. They're sharp, they're honest, and most of all, you can tell that they truly care. So don't let tax stress take over your life. Call 855-627-4829. Visit NashvilleTaxSolutions.com or email info@NashvilleTaxSolutions.com today. Nashville Tax Solutions, real help, real results. Chris Bennett, you rock. Thank you, my friend.
He does rock so much, and just reached out to him earlier. He's doing well, him and the family, so glad to hear it. And I'd like to say, we were talking WWE. His not his good friend, but his recent person that he met, Jelly Roll. Not only is he killing it in the entertainment industry, but he is also going to have a program at SummerSlam. He was at SmackDown this week and started a program. He's going to actually seems to be having a tag team match at SummerSlam.
No
teaming
way.
with Randy, yeah, he's going to be teaming with Randy Orton against Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. So, but usually when WWE brings somebody in like that, they do their justice, and it's not like it was in the early 80s where they know nothing about the sport and they come in just because of their name. Like, if he's going to be there, he's going to put the work in the gym and stuff. And he looks great. I think he lost 200 pounds in the last year or something like that. He's really killing it right now in all aspects. So,
well, that's great.
Yeah. So, but we'll put Chris away for now. But at the ticker at the bottom of the screen.
Are we going to see our buddy tonight? You know who
yes,
I'm talking
he
about?
will. Yes, he will.
I love it. Don't tell me what.
Right. He's loaded and ready to go. Where would we be without our friend? But so tonight I thought it'd be fun, guys, to, this is exactly the halfway point of the Major League Baseball season, sort of. I mean, it's not exactly, we've had more than the 81 games and stuff, but so I thought it'd be fun. We'll just tackle the major topics this week in the world of Major League Baseball, and then we'll kind of end with just some quick votes for where we think certain awards are for the midseason. So, Darren, I want to start here and get your thoughts first and foremost with the Boston Red Sox. So you've made it known here on the podcast in the past that you do have a 10-game package plan with the Red Sox in Boston to attend some games. And so not too long ago, it looks like the wheels fell off and they were headed for obscurity after the trade of Devers, but the complete opposite has happened recently, and they just completed a 4-game sweep of Tampa Bay, which is a huge accomplishment, as good as they've been playing in Boston now. So 10 games in a row, their longest winning streak since 2018. So, Darren, I ask you, what is going right with the Boston Red Sox? They are hitting on all cylinders.
Sometimes when you have no well, first, it's really two things. One, they have a wonderful fan base that believes in them. And by the way, could be salty as the day is long, but you can tell that it's coming from a place where they really enjoy the team. And now you have no expectations, so they can just go out there and play. I hearken it to the Mets last year when they were, 11 games out of the playoff position, and they just played ball. And that's what Boston is doing now. They're just playing ball.
Yeah, they're playing ball. They're doing all the right things right now, and I think the All-Star break probably is something that could have come at a better time for them, because 10-game winning streak, the last thing you want is 4 days off, right? Like, you want to get back out there and keep it going. But yeah, Sports Fan says here Boston has great pitching. Yep, they've been pitching great. Especially this 10 games.
Sports.
So, Yep. So, but yeah, so I'm shocked. I was really surprised to see a 4-game sweep of Tampa Bay. They usually, now the games were close. I think today was 4-1, but I think it was like 4-3, 3-2, 1-0. They were all close games. There's not a lot of offense for Tampa Bay, unfortunately. That's been struggling here a bit. They, I think, lost 13 of 17 now. So they're teams go through it. They're still in the third wild card, so they're still technically in it, but other teams like Seattle are going to start putting that pressure on, the Angels putting that pressure on. So,
and also what you need to understand a couple of things, and this plays into it on a conscious level and on a subconscious level. The Yankees are not running away with this division, right? I mean, the Blue Jays are in front. So when you are, the Red Sox, you're like, wait a minute, we got a shot. We have a shot here. Let's just play ball. What's going on with Baltimore? Disaster, just unfortunate what they have, but why not? They have a shot. Look, I'm going to jump all over the map because I love baseball. Okay. You got the Brewers and Tampa Bay and Boston and the Blue Jays. It's all the same team. Like anybody can get hot at the right time. The pitching is there. And, AL West teams are weak, Joe said. But are they? Seattle is going to be there, right? I mean, and yeah, they are weak. I can't lie. They're very weak. Seattle. And look, the Rangers are going to have a run. They always do. unless DeGrom gets traded. You hear that happening, possibly. So who knows?
Yep. I mean, we could potentially see. And I see that other. So you can see 4 teams from the AL East in the playoffs. I mean, it could happen. I've seen. I do expect some teams to make a push. I'm really surprised that that Cleveland. So before the season started, folks, I did say that the Braves and the Guardians would miss the playoffs, which was a crazy pick at the time. I actually did say the Brewers also. So 2 of those 3. I mean, Brewers are still, I think, right there. But so that might all still happen. But I really am surprised that the Tigers are running away with this thing. I expected them to win the division. I did predict that, but not by this many games this early in the season. That's surprising the heck out of me for sure. But I think the AL East is better than I know Joe mentions they're weak. I wouldn't call them weak per se, but they're not strong enough to compete with the Tigers and the Astros. So I don't think it's a bunch of mediocre teams. It's just right now, they're a byproduct of just kind of beating up on your teams and stuff like that. So I think unless something changes, I think we're looking at a Houston and Detroit American League Championship Series unless something drastic happens here. That would be where I would kind of go with that. And talking about the Brewers, let's go there next. So very unpopular pick, and I couldn't wait to ask you this question. So I know that you're a big Jacob Mizorowski guy. You followed his entire career, all 5 starts.
Yes.
And he's an all-star. And so a lot of some teams are having some fun with that. Phillies are all over that. So I wanted to ask your opinion on what kind of went into that decision, because I know a lot of people have been injured and stuff, but like there had to have been somebody else, right? Like that deserved it a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know behind the scenes who turned down, going. Some people enjoy the 4 days, 5 days off, but I think it's a shame when somebody pitches 5 games and gets in the All-Star. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah, 5 games and great stats or whatnot, but like he has. You look at some of the people that are still not there, and you're like, okay, And again, we don't know. They don't make public everyone that says yes or no, but someone with 5 stars.
It's just marketing. It's bad. I mean, when Doc Gooden went to the All-Star game, he didn't just pitch 5 games.
Yeah,
it's just it's a mess. You're an All-Star after 5 games? No.
Yeah, no, I would say that now. Another All-Star that is I want to talk about is Cal Raleigh from the Seattle Mariners, hitting his 38th home run here in July. It's crazy what he's doing right now. And so, and I believe with that recent win, when he hit his 38th home run, that actually ended Scubo's 3-month unbeaten streak. So want to get your thoughts on him. He's a guy I really didn't hear anything of until this year, and I've never seen someone rise that quickly out of obscurity to, because there's some guys that have done it. Like we saw Pete Alonso's first year and Judge, they put up great numbers and stuff, but we kind of knew about them. I really didn't know anything. As much as I know about baseball, I really didn't know anything about this guy, and he's just blown up. And I remember thinking when he had 11 home runs, like towards the end of April, I'm like, let me keep an eye on this guy.
Right.
So, your thoughts on him and how he's going to finish this year? Because he's
think great. 2 variables are going to happen. One is now there's tape on him, if I can use that term from the 70s and the 80s, and pitches will adjust. And now will he adjust? Like for example, you mentioned Alonso. He's got a big old hole at the upper inside pitch. You throw high and inside, he's going to miss it. He's going to hit your mistake a country mile. First couple of years, people didn't really understand that and know that. So that's why he was hitting 50 home runs a year. And now, I mean, he still hits home runs, but not as many. I think it's wonderful what he's doing, but there will be an adjustment. They'll find that hole. Will he be able to adjust to that? That's important. Plus, they are now going to be in a pennant race. They're in a pennant race. What happens when people just pitch around him? does he have people around him? That'll be important as well. Because if I know that he's their only hitter, big time hitter, I'm just going to pitch around him.
Yeah, and it's going to take with them. It's going to take with Julio Rodriguez and Randy Arozarena. If they continue to protect Cal with those two guys, then I can see this, not continuing. I can't see him hitting 30. Especially because more games happen before the All-Star break than happen after. But 38 to duplicate that after the break doesn't seem too realistic. We're definitely looking at a guy who's going to hit over 50 home runs, and that's pretty amazing. And so. And Seattle seems to be that team every year. You're like, oh, this is the year. And then something just happens where they have this 15 out of 20 game losing streak. And then they just kind of falter. But I really didn't see the Houston Astros as dominant as they've been. And I really thought they were going to take us. I think we both picked Texas to win the division, but did not see Houston to. I really felt like they were a third place team this year, but they are. Even with all the people that they've lost, they are continuing to cheat. They're continuing to win. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. Are you your thoughts on the Astros? Because
look, there's no getting around the cheating scandal. Let's put it that way. But at the same time, they have a culture of winning, and you go in that locker room. You're expected to win. Both of us thought they would take a step back. You're putting your shortstop in the left field. If you remember, I still thought that was crazy.
Yeah.
And but they just get good pitching. They have a wonderful front office, not afraid to make moves, and they get clutch hitting. And they lose people either to injury or free agency, and they just keep humming along.
Yeah, they do. And we've talked about some teams that have kind of been surprises, and I want to go next to the Chicago Cubs. This is a team that they started off 0-2. They had to play in the series with the Dodgers, and
that's terrible.
Yeah, that was but they've been balling. Who are you most impressed with? I'll let you go first, and I'll go second.
Crow.
Who are you most impressed with?
Crow.
The Cubs. Crow. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to go different. I have a guy that's a little bit better than him, far and above Crow Armstrong. But we'll get there in a second. But man, when you see what he could have been with the Mets, it's unfortunate. But no, go ahead. Your thoughts on Crow Armstrong?
No, exactly. Listen, when you're a Met fan and you see him, and you see what Javi Baez is doing with, Detroit now as an outfielder.
Yeah.
But man, he should be with the Mets.
Really? Yes. So we could just go back in time. Hi, Rob is with us as well. Your good buddy Rob Macron's there. Every time he posts something food related, man, I salivate.
Rob, get on. Yeah, Rob, start chatting away, buddy.
Yeah, definitely do. And now Michael Clark, that's another good pick. I'm not going Suzuki here. You might thought that's where I was going, but another good Cub. Why they're doing so good. But the Cubs are a team that are they're legit, and I feel like the Mets and the Cubs could potentially really push the Dodgers out of that National League Championship series that we see every year. Yeah. But I think if we're talking Cubs, Armstrong's a great piece, Suzuki's a great piece, but the southpaw on the mound for the Chicago Cubs in Wrigley Field, that's the guy right there.
He hides the ball so well too.
Yes. There he is. He's so happy. But so
I love
transition from that. And
he's the
what
best.
The world is going on. He's one of our friends here on the show. He has to make an appearance at least once, if not twice. But and he does it for free too. He gets no royalties. So a big accomplishment happened kind of under the radar this week, Darren, in terms of, a lot of times in Major League Baseball, the players get all the recognition and all that sort of thing. But Terry Francona became the 13th manager in Major League history to get up to the 2,000 win plateau. So just want to get your thoughts on his impact in the game. Seems like he's been around forever. Age is like fine wine, I guess you could say. But your thoughts on his accomplishment, because that's a pretty big deal that we're probably not going to hear a lot of about.
And we should. And listen, he is one of these guys he's just a lifer, and he's brought teams to the World Series, won a World Series, and has adapted to the changing ball player. He's been around long enough, before the shift, and then the shift got banned, and then, before the DH in both leagues. And, he talks. You're going to listen. You know who he reminds me of? Bruce Bochy. Like that sort of life that's been around forever and can talk old school and today's player, and just wins wherever they go. Love that.
Doesn't matter where he shows up. Yep, he wins. He's a winner. Yep. And he, I think, I don't know who's kind of next to, if there's anyone who would be the closest one, to that. But I'm glad that he got that accomplishment, and it seems like I've been fortunate to see a lot of his managerial career in my lifetime. But to be number 13, as long as this game's been played, that's a pretty big deal. So hopefully we can hear more about that. Another thing,
but look, you got guys like him, Dusty Baker. I mean, these guys that have a long time pedigree, right? Dusty's retired now, but these are the guys that were able to adapt, not change who you are, but understand that, listen, that's why I love the word guidelines, not rules. There are guidelines to the game, and you change things as the game changes. But when you have the respect of the player in the locker room, again, I don't know if Bob is still with us, but Bob played ball. He'll tell you, when you have that presence, you're gonna win.
Yeah, you're gonna win. Yep. And I want to make sure too. One thing, it's funny. We have someone that's messaging me offline. He had a baseball related question, and I said, "Hey, jump on the podcast. We'll talk about it." So I could have answered the question, but hey, you got to promote this show. So he might be joining us here in a second.
I love that.
But one thing I want to ask you, and I'm going to make sure I send him the link really quick, so that way he knows where we are. You should have it already though, but just in case, do that real quick. Let's see here. Share. Copy. And yeah, it seems like they were having a discussion offline. So there we go. So, but another thing that's happened this last couple of days is two teams we've seen with 3 home run games. That just doesn't happen very often. So started with the Miami Marlins. Marlins Kyle Stowers hit 3 home runs against the Orioles. And then, of course, Cody Bellinger hit 3 2-run home runs in the same game, almost 4. I was actually talking with Rob Medina today about it and at church. And but yeah, so don't see that too often. But usually when that happens, it's someone out of obscurity that just has a day, right? But how does that happen twice in a couple of days? I don't know. But Cody Bellinger is feeling it right now, and they did they need it because they had a 6-game skid there with the Dodgers. So, but did you happen to see any of that? Either of those two?
I heard of it, but no. The last 2 weeks I've been really working kind of a lot of hours, so I wasn't able to. But I've been following it. Because what we do for a living, my protocol is I get up, I do my prayer thing that I do, and then I scour this stuff because this is what we do. And by the way, people, if you have the MLB package, the app online, it's amazing. They can do every game in less than 10 minutes without the nonsense. Yeah, and you don't just see home runs; you see what happened. Which is really, really nice. Coach.
Yes. And so my good old friend Kemi is here with us, and I'm going to answer his question that he had. I had to selfishly plug the podcast. Like Kemi was saying, I could have just answered the question, but I am live, so I was like, let me have you jump on real quick. So we here at Around the Ballpark are happy to hear you. Our friend Paddington is so happy that you are here. He's very happy. Kemi. So I will answer your question now. So your question offline was, in the softball league that we have in our church softball league, what is the allotment for home runs where each team is allowed? So the answer to that question is 1, actually. So you have it's a 1 progressive. So what that means, Kemi and anyone else that wants to know, is let's just say that we have a player on our team that hits a home run. If the other team has to hit a home run before we're allowed to hit another. So if, let's just say Matthew, because he was the one that did it last season, Matt hits a home run, and then let's say Kemi, you step up to the plate and you jack one out of the ballpark, you're unfortunately going to be an out because the other team hasn't hit their home run yet. So it's one progressive. So we have to, so same applies. If the other team hits their one, then we can't hit, or we can hit one, and then it's progressive. So once it ties up at one, then let's just say that Matt hits a home run, the other team hits a home run. Then once it's tied 1-1, then either team can hit the next one and then goes up to 2. So you have to, it's progressive. So it's not like a certain amount. In most leagues, most recreational leagues, it's actually 3 home runs before it becomes progressive. But in our league, they only allow 1, which is kind of silly. Especially they're making the bats they're making are more the composite bats. Their balls are flying at rates that they've never flown out of there before. So it's some people it's having a challenge keeping the ball in the park. But with the ASA balls, Kemi, that we use, they're more flight restricted. So they tend to be they are hit hard, but they don't have the flight like the USSSA balls have. So one thing when we do our practices, I try to make sure that the balls we use are more of the ASA balls instead of the U-trip balls, because one, it can damage the bats if we just use U-trip balls because they're not made for the bats that we use. So definitely encourage you when practicing, if you have an ASA or USA bat, that you're using USA or ASA balls and not USSSA balls, because that could injure the bat and the ball's not going to fly very far. And it says if the other team never hits one, that's it. Yes. So let's say you get up there and you jack a home run, then someone else from our team hits a home run, then it's an out each time because they haven't hit their 1 home run yet. So it's a way to, I understand it. It's a way to kind of limit, because sometimes I've been to these tournaments where people will spend $300 on a bat and they just swing it light as a feather and the ball flies out of there, and it takes the gameplay away a little bit. If someone's just getting up there and jacking it out of there every single time, then there's nothing you can do about it. You've already lost the game. So it's more of a competitive advantage or disadvantage to allow that too often. So Darren, on your end, have you in any of the leagues that you've played in or anything like that, any kind of familiarity with that in terms of home run counts and stuff?
I played a modified softball league where it was modified pitch, fast pitch, played on concrete. And there was not a restriction, but I understand that the rationale behind it. My question is, because I always look at things, though I played through a coaching perspective, I'd want you to hit your home run, and I wouldn't hit a home run. I would play that game, because if you're a power team, I'm going to force you not to play the power game, which will make you uncomfortable. If I feel I have good fielders and I have, people that can cover the ground and this and that, and you have a bunch of power hitters, take your home run. I'll score a run. You need to score at least 1 run anyway. Now I'm not going to hit home runs, and now you can hit home runs.
Right, exactly. So there was a team. I'm glad you mentioned that. There was a team back when I played recreational league, and it was a little bit more competitive, but it was not a place you really wanted to be. And there was this one team that beat everyone all the time. And the only time you can beat up on them is if it was cold out. If it was cold out, they didn't like to be there. They didn't play as hard. And so we had a strategy where
which when you live in Florida.
Yes, right. We get cold weather in January. That's all we get. But we would throw them meatballs. I would tell my pitcher, a lot of times it was Joe. I was like, hey, throw meatballs, meaning a meatball is basically you're just lobbing one up there that they can crush out there. And if you lobbed up 3 meatballs in the top of the first inning, now you're down 3-0, but now they can't hit a home run the rest of the game. And we're not a home run hitting team. So these guys, these monster guys, I remember a couple innings where these big beefy dudes would get up there and jack it out of the park, and it's out. I remember 3 consecutive home runs for outs because they've already hit their capacity of 3 home runs. So
the name of the game is to win, not to hit home runs.
Yeah.
So I want to win. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's more impressive to get the big double or things like that, move the runners around. But so hopefully that answered your question. Cami, and thank you for hopping on with us here. Appreciate it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button and all the good fun stuff.
And where could you find that subscribe button?
You can find that subscribe button on youtube.com/@aroundtheballpark. And you could be a subscriber just like all the rest of them, and that would be awesome. We appreciate it. Make sure you turn the notifications on, though, so you know that when we're live, all that good fun stuff. And tonight, we are talking Major League Baseball. It's halfway through the season, so we're kind of just catching up, rounding up on all the important things that have been going on here this first season. Today, Darren, as you know, we're Mets fans. Sean Manaea made his season debut for the Mets, activated off the injured list, so that was a pretty big deal. Did pretty well. Unfortunately, it's not the outcome we wanted, a final score, but it's good to see and good to know that right after the All-Star break, we'll have both Sean and Cody Senga available for the rotation.
We're fine.
Yeah. So we're in a good place now. We have 4 of the 5 pitchers that we need. Actually, I think we might even have, I think it's 4 of the 5. So we're just down to 1 of non-regular. So what are your thoughts on, I think you're going to agree, but your thoughts on the Major League All-Star game is coming up this week. And so, of course, it's going to be Paul Skeens and Skubal as the starting pitchers, as they should be. I'm glad that Major League Baseball recognized it's not about wins and losses with Paul Skeens, with his ERA. I think he had 13 consecutive outings where his team didn't win a game, and he's pitching as good as he's been pitching. That's a shame. But your thoughts on the starters? I think
it's great. I think it means something. I think it's wonderful to get that nod, and I think they made nice choices. Really do.
Yep.
Oh, and speaking of the Pittsburgh Pirates, could you talk to the kids out in the audience? I want to show you something. I'll be right back.
Okay. While he is doing that, just wanted to, again, thank you all for being here. We are coming up on 100 episodes, just over a week and a half away. We'll have episode number 100, so we've got to plan something special for that. But again, this is episode number 97. So we're so grateful for the growth that we've had. Over 3,000 subscribers, and the next goal here is going to be that 3,500 number. So we're going to continue to work on that over the next couple months. But we couldn't do it without you, and we couldn't do it without the fine folks at Nashville Tax Solutions. And if you forgot their info, it's right there at the bottom on that cool little ticker that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So, Darren, you missed all the fun, but you're back. As he gets plugged in, guys, we're about to, here in a few minutes after he talks about or shows us what he's going to show, we're going to have some fun going over some mid-season awards. I picked a couple different categories. We're going to do a quick vote on who we think there. So is this a new purchase?
New purchase.
We
did not have the Pirates.
We did not. And now, if I remember correctly, you don't usually get them with names in the back, right? Because you want to.
Or I get them with the name on the back. In this case, former Pittsburgh Pirate Sterling Marte.
Sterling Marte, good choice.
Yes.
Yep. But, now I'm glad that he got to play a little bit more. Unfortunately, he's on the injured list, but I love that signing when that first happened, and I know he's more on the downside of his career than the beginning of the career, but that's a good find. Did you get that at your normal place of good finds? Okay.
Yes, I did. And it's really good. Yes, it's majestic, and it's really good. And I tell you, I have quite the collection now. I have most baseball teams right now.
That's awesome. So it'll help no matter who the guest is. You're ready to go. You're prepared.
Yep. It's fun.
I got to ask you, you purchased this jersey, but you worked 763 hours this week. How did you find time to do this? That's pretty remarkable.
So somebody tapped me on the shoulder and said, there's this thing called the internet. You can get it online.
You clicked.
Okay. Yes.
That's good. That makes sense. Okay.
Yes. So anyway, I always wanted a Pirates jersey. But the weird thing was the Mets were losing 3 in a row to the Pirates when they made this purchase. And I kind of felt weird. I was like, my Mets, no, bro. But I always wanted this because, as an homage to, I just like the jersey, the old school jersey. And so I got it.
Yeah, no, I love the Pirates jersey. I love the look of their stadium, but I think those colors go so great together. And the Pirates are that kind of team, right? They won 8 in a row, and then they've lost 10 in a row or 8 in a row, something like that. Only happens to teams like the Pirates, unfortunately. And I can't think of any more unequal comparison, right? Like you think of Pittsburgh Steelers, you think dynasty, you think like popularity and stuff, and like the Pirates, like feels like the similar colors, don't play too far from where the Steelers play, and they just for whatever reason the Steelers spend a ton of money, and the Pirates just kind of get what we get with the Pirates. Unfortunately, that's how it is. So.
Who wants to play? Raise your hand. Come on over.
It's available. Yep. So, so Darren, I want to ask you. So, no, thank you for showing us that here on the show, and I want to ask you. So, let's quickly go over kind of our mid-season awards. So, I'll give you 5 nominees, and you can pick one, or you can pick somebody that's not on the list, whichever. So starting with. Okay. So, starting with the National League Cy Young. So, of course, the choices here: Andrew Abbott, Logan Webb, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Zach Wheeler, or Paul Skeens. No wrong answer.
No. It's just I think the Giants are hanging around.
Yep. Well, just when you think they're going to fall to the side, they kind of linger a little longer, and they're like a gnat that just won't go away.
Yeah, they really are. Logan Webb.
Okay, so interesting. So I would take Paul Skeens here. Again, what he's able to do with a lineup that's just not producing runs. I think that's the choice there. But Webb would be right there for me. And take nothing away from Zach Wheeler. We all know, like, I wish he was still a Met.
Wait, hold on a second. Crow, Wheeler, the list goes on and on about really good players who the Mets got rid of. Justin Turner for all those years.
Yes. So bad.
I had to watch David Wright hit home runs in the 6th inning and pop out in the 9th.
I know, right?
But can I ask you a question?
Yes.
All right. I'm sorry to do this, but I will forget. So I was scrolling through TikTok today, right? And no, it was Facebook. And they had this question. MLB put the all-time Mets at each position. All right. Who would you put in center field?
Oof. Yeah. Off the cuff, I feel like that's a position where we've like had somebody that's been what's the word I'm thinking of, like not suitable, right? But I don't know if I've ever been that guy that's like this is him. So I would need a few seconds to think about that one because there's
So anyway, maybe this will prompt you either way. They put Beltran, and I said, well, first of all, I have a little bit of animosity toward, watching the third strike, Beltran. But for me,
that one ruined a lot of people's.
You cannot go out looking. I don't care how filthy that pitch was. Anything when you're in Little League, anything close, you got to swing. Anyway, and I understand Mookie Wilson, I understand Lenny Dykstra, but Beltran, of course. But to me, Tommy Agee, 69, those 2 catches he makes, he hit, center fielder for the World Championship Mets. I know I'm old, but that's where I would go. Where would you go? When I saw that, I was like, I'm going to ask him, who's your center fielder?
So with Tommy though, because he had I think it was 68 to 72.
Yeah, that's a short window. Yep.
Yeah, so shorter. So it's hard to, so I think that would disqualify although his body of work in that period of time was, I agree with you, could be definitely seen as that. I think it's okay. See, it's tough. I think it's okay.
Tough.
It is. It's tough. I think there's really no wrong answer, obviously, but for the Mets' sake, I think it's okay to put Mookie Wilson in that spot, only because
I do too.
If we didn't have 86 the way that 86 happened, then he would probably be a little bit lower. But he's just synonymous with one of the biggest moments of all time. The reason why my VHS player broke because I had to watch it so often, because after 86 we didn't get another championship, so I had to rewatch the same VHS for over and over and over again. So when you think, all-time center fielder, obviously a lot of people look at it and they want to see 300 home runs, they want to see this many RBIs, but for the Mets it just kind of worked. He just kind of worked there, and he was there 80 to 89, so good amount of time. It's funny because you could make a case that after it's all said and done, Brandon Nimmo could be that guy at the end of his career, but like he, for some reason, they move him to this field and that field. He's not.
He was in left field still
anymore. So,
yep, agreed.
Yeah.
Somebody in the discussion said Brandon Nimmo already, and it was like, but he plays left field now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's funny because when I hear his name, I still think center fielder for some reason.
Me too.
For whatever reason, that's not where he plays, and I'm sure there's a reason why he's not playing there. But no, I love those kind of questions. No wrong answer there. AL Cy Young. I think this one is kind of silly to even discuss, but we have Scooble Brown, Max Fried, Jacob deGrom, or Garrett Crochet. I think I know where you're going, but he's of course. American League Rookie of the Year. So we have Nick Kurtz, Jason Dominguez. We have the shortstop Wilson from the Athletics, Carlos Navarez, and Cam Smith. I'll go first on this one. I'm taking Wilson with the Athletics, shortstop all-star. So I think he's the guy right there. Although Dominguez, we got to remember he's done some good stuff lately, but the body of work over the period of time hasn't been great. So I'll take Wilson.
I'll take Wilson as well. And by the way, that'll be good because they're going to need to build around somebody before they get traded to the Yankees or signs with the Yankees.
Yes, right. What about your AL Manager of the Year? So we have AJ Hinch, we have Joe Espada, John Schneider, Kevin Cash, and Dan Wilson.
I don't know. It's too early. It's too early. It's too early. Yeah. I mean, like right now, what the Blue Jays are doing, right, is simply amazing. What Boston is doing with nobody. We talked about that already. It's kind of amazing. AJ is a wonderful manager. With the Astros, who are now in the National League. American League. Right?
Yep.
So yeah.
Awesome. I reserve my. I think it's a 5-way tie. Let's call it. It is too early. And same with the National League Manager of the Year. Craig Counsell could be in the discussion. Bob Melvin, Rob Thompson, Pat Murphy again. So it's kind of reserved. That one's tough because a lot of with manager you have to see the whole body of work to know because they're not producing on the field. So haven't seen enough yet. Have 3 more for you. So the National League MVP. This one's interesting. We have Kyle Tucker. We have Zach Wheeler, James Wood, Shohei Ohtani, or Pete Crow Armstrong.
Pete Crow Armstrong.
So, a lot of people would take Ohtani, and it's like, okay, we know who Ohtani is, and we know what he's capable of doing, but compared to his crazy normal stats, it's actually just a little bit.
He's a little more pedestrian, yeah. Agreed.
I'm actually going to take James Wood here, but Crow Armstrong right by there. I am a huge, and we don't hear a lot about James Wood, but 24 home runs, almost 70 RBIs, 100 hits on the season, doing so on a team that he's getting no protection in that lineup. So sometimes I'll rate that a little higher because he doesn't have the bats in the lineup that the Cubs do. So neck and neck, but I would go Wood 1, Crow Armstrong 2, and Ohtani 3, in my opinion there. And then on the American League side, again, it's kind of like Scooble there. We can have a discussion if we feel like it. And, this is not to upset the Cal Raleigh fans because he's got 38 home runs, but it's got to be Aaron Judge with his batting average and what he's doing. And I know he has some couple off days here and there, but it's got to be Judge.
Judge is having an incredible year, and he's an incredible player.
Yeah. What do you call it? And then the last one I have for you is the surprise team of the year. So midway through the season, now I've included some teams here that have been good, but we didn't expect them to be that good. So You got the Detroit Tigers, the Miami Marlins, San Francisco Giants, Tampa Bay Rays, and Boston Red Sox. Kind of tough because all 5 are outperforming what.
Oh yeah.
I know the Tigers were good last year, but we didn't see this good coming. So it's kind of a tough question to ask. So you can look at it from 2 different ways. So your thoughts on surprise team of the year?
Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays. There we go. That didn't have to be one of those 5.
They're in first place in the division with the Yankees.
Yeah, they are. That's true. I know this sounds like an easy answer. I'm gonna take the Tigers only because they've separated themselves so far from 3 teams: the Royals, the Astros, or the Twins, and the Guardians, and are just so dominant in every aspect
no doubt.
of the game. And so I feel like that's the surprise that they're that. I mean, they're the clear favorite in my opinion to win the whole thing this year. And so, that's where I'm going there. So, but we are, we got the All-Star game this coming up, Home Run Derby All-Star game. So our final question of the evening as we wrap this thing up here, Darren, is who is your pick to win the Home Run Derby? In my opinion, the least attractive Home Run Derby based on name value there's ever been in my last 15 years. But I feel like
don't care.
Matt Olson, I think, got put in there today for some reason, and he hasn't had a great season. I don't know. But your thoughts, your winner for the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game?
I'd rather see a little buddy one more time than even comment on the Home Run Derby. I don't care.
Okay. Now, do you typically do you normally enjoy the Derby, or is it not your thing? Or
no.
Okay.
It's batting practice, and I like batting practice when it's batting practice. It's like, whoa, and then there's different rules. How many? There's time pitches, and then we got to hear about Uncle Bucky's throwing the ball, and I don't care.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the Home Run Derby for a period of time.
Yes,
I can't have that same intensity from first pitch to the end because then you've seen it's a home run, right? Like it's a home run or it's not a home run. It's not like there's 15 options that are happening. So for 35 minutes, I'm like, oh, and then you see me. Yeah. And
then I end up worrying about the little kid who's trying to shake the 5 balls out there getting hit in the head because none of them can catch. Out there, and. When it was just a home run hitting contest, I thought it was lovely. 20 pitches, let's go. How many home runs? 20 pitches. Now they're timing it, and then whoa, yelling. It means more, and then there's stop over-engineering stuff.
One that really got me, though, and I know you remember this moment, I'm sure. I mean, maybe not if you didn't watch it, but the last time that Pete Alonso was in the Home Run Derby, whoever was throwing to him, I felt like was purposely throwing the ball at the speed of sloth. I don't know if you remember this.
I do remember that. That's why I brought it. That's why I brought it up. Kind of. Yeah. Uncle Teddy,
hurry up! It's a time thing. Yeah. Maybe he forgot that he didn't have unlimited time to throw those pitches. But
that's the whole thing. I mean, why? Stop over-engineering things. I mean, just 20 pitches, let's go. If it was up to me, there'd be literally just the automatic robotic arm, like you put a couple quarters in, you go in the batting cage. That's it.
Yep.
There's a special ball. The ball gets tracked with them. Oh, it's 450 feet. This one is 430 feet. Who cares? It's a home run. Don't care the distance. Stop.
Right. Goes over the line. It's a home run. Doesn't matter how far. Now, of course, though, if there's a 5 spot on there, then that's interesting.
Well, it's a different issue.
It doesn't count either way. I mean, anymore than you don't get a double point for hitting it 5. Actually, you do get something. I think if you hit 475 feet, you get an extra swing or
that's my point. Who cares? No.
Yeah. No. But bottom line, this year's All-Star game is a must-watch because they're going back to the All-Star.
Back to the unit. Back to real uniforms.
Yeah. So. But guys, thank you for hopping on
this was
midway
great.
Point of the season. A lot of fun, fastest hour and 5 minutes in podcast today. Thank you for those that jumped on with us. I know a few of you are out of town this week and stuff, but still a good amount of you guys gave it a watch, so we appreciate that. And if you watch this after the fact, go ahead and put your comments in the chat with what you thought of our picks. If you have any other picks than what we picked, if there was a name that maybe we left off
read
the
them
list,
all.
Yep, we will read that all. Also, guys, too, we have we'll be back. We had a little bit of a hiatus just because we wanted to kind of catch up with the movies coming out and stuff. But we've got next couple of days. We'll have some consecutive releases of our summer movie preview series coming out. So you'll want to keep an eye out for that. But Darren, let me ask you this question before we shut this thing down tonight. So the summer movies, we previewed some. We haven't reviewed how they've been after. So I want to just take a quick couple minutes here. In terms of the movies that we've covered, what do you feel like is our biggest miss in terms of we thought was going to be a dud or we thought was going to be great and turned out to be the complete opposite? And then number two would be what is that if the family's on a tight budget and they can only pick one movie and they were, let's pretend they were all on the table, what would you say that movie is that they need to go out and see? I know it's hard. You've seen 62 movies, but
yes, and I can't remember the name of that movie that we making fun of it. It's just a guy, the life
of
whatever,
the life of Chuck.
Yeah, loved that movie, loved it, and I was panning it, and I thought it was wonderful. I won't say what it's about. That movie I got wrong. In terms of a family, if you have young children, Lilo and Stitch was very good.
Yeah, I was surprised. I really was. I've heard, that's why I don't listen to what
people like us say.
I get it. I get it if you have like a budget where it's like, okay, I can only see one movie, and maybe they don't offer the $20 unlimited movie package where you live. So I can see the hesitance of seeing something like that because you want to know, okay, if I'm going to only go to one, I want to make sure it's one that everyone's saying is good. But yeah, I didn't really expect much from that, and I'm surprised that.
I thought the way that the sisters were portrayed, that their relationship was wonderful.
Yeah, so it's a good time. Good time to go to the movies. It doesn't. I still feel like in the past there's been bigger hits in terms of summer blockbusters and stuff, but there's been some good ones that I really, really enjoyed. For me, I really enjoyed the Jurassic World movie.
I was going to say, what movie did you love? What was your favorite?
I would say Jurassic World, but I think, so many people say, oh, it's clearly the third best in the series. Like, if you go back to it, like, if you're putting Jurassic World 1 over this one, it's because you have the nostalgia and stuff like that.
That's what it is, yeah.
There's so much great things that happened in this recent movie that it's hard to say that parts 1 or 3 or whatever or Jurassic World were better than this one but it also, you have that fresh on your mind and stuff like that. I was just captivated from beginning to end. I think they told a good story. We got to see some cool dinosaurs and all that kind of stuff, but the acting was great. I love the cast in this movie. That really sold me in on it. And I don't know. I just really thought it exceeded my expectations. I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't expect to like it as much. And it's one of those few movies with a family of 4, it's hard to find something that all 4 of us are like that into. And it was like the perfect, like, who doesn't like dinosaurs? So that was the one movie we could look at the calendar and go, that's the one we're all going to see together. So
that's great.
Next will be Superman. We'll go knock that one out here very soon, hopefully. So, but thank you guys so much. And again, like I said, keep an eye out for those summer movie preview releases this week. And we will be live with episode number 98 this Thursday night at 8:30 live as well. So thank you guys. Continue to share, subscribe.
Great job.
I want to see that number of 3,500 subscribers. I'd like to see that hit by October. That's my goal. 3,500. We can make that happen. So continue to share. Today, I sent it to just 3 random people today that hadn't subscribed yet. And so that's 3 more than we had yesterday. So continue to help us out with that. We would appreciate it. And let's get to that 4,000 mark by the end of the year. Make it happen. So thank you guys so much. And until next time, we will see you around the ballpark. Bye, guys.